Hello and welcome. This is the hot seat with me, Wangari Mokoi. Well, today I'm so privileged to be hosting one of the phenomenal women from Nyeri County, Madam Nyeri, who is vying for a women rep seat come 2022. Madam, thank you so much for coming. As a young person, I never thought I would be able to host you, and it really feels honored. I'm so grateful for that. I think your humility goes beyond your reputation. Away from that, tell us, who is Madam Nyeri?
Okay, thank you very much for hosting me. I'm actually the one privileged to be hosted by you as a youth, because I really like supporting the youth. Nyeri, of course, is a woman, married, with two young adults, children, who finished university. I come from a place born in a place called Mudwaine in Teto, then married in a place called Gaine in Kirimukoyo, Madera constituency. I am the second last born in my family of 13. Of course, my parents are deceased. My father passed on when I was still in college, so my mother took up the responsibility of bringing us up, the last ones, and finished school. And I've studied from high school. Went to high school in Kireti, just I used to work from home. And from there, I went to do my A-level in a place called St. Agnes in Kitui. First, did my food science and technology from Jomo Kenyatta University. After I finished, I worked at Coca-Cola Nyeri as an assistant quality assurance manager, but hardly for 6 months lapsed. I got a promotion to brand chemist. Of course, Coca-Cola plants at the time were 114 in the region. And from there, I still got promoted to production manager. And after working for 3.5 years, I shifted base because I wanted to go to what I would call a hardship area, because Nyeri was a comfortable place at the moment because I would live with my mother in Egypt, and I knew that there wasn't at the time a lot of educational institutions where I could advance my education. So I got 2 jobs. I got a job at Farmer's Choice, and I got a job with a company called Reckitt and Coleman. So I opted to work for Reckitt and Coleman because it was very, very challenging. So I worked there again as a R&D manager, that's research and development, and quality assurance, and then I worked for a couple of years until I was promoted by the region, because at the moment, at that time, Reckitt was, when I got employed by the way, you were reporting into UK. So then when South Africa opened, then we reported to South Africa as Sub-Sahara. So I was promoted to the technical liaison manager, Sub-Sahara Africa. That is in charge of Zimbabwe, Zambia, Dubai, Egypt, and Kenya.
Oh.
So I would look at technical liaison, basically was in the what we call pest control, and anything that is development. You know, if you developed a product, say like for example, how does it, what are the legal requirements in Kenya? What are the regulatory requirements in Kenya? Are you able to meet? Are we ready to launch a product? That's what I would do for the region, and then I would report into South Africa. So basically I had 2 bosses, one in Nairobi and one in South Africa. So I think in a nutshell, that's probably Nyeri. Of course, I left Reckitt after some time and I worked in a dairy industry. I worked in a dairy industry. I actually built a dairy industry in Mali because I was very passionate.
We are heading to that, huh?
And then I'm just telling you about now who Nyeri is.
Yeah.
So as I was working for Reckitt, one of the one of the performances that you are gauged against is your personal development. So that gave me room to study more. So I studied marketing. And I studied marketing until to be a chartered marketer in the UK. So I graduated as a chartered marketer in the Chartered Institute of Marketing. And then after that, based on that, I was able to do my master's degree in Birmingham City in the UK. And that is where now I worked on a project on the dairy industry because that was my project.
Well, I understand Jenny likes tough things and challenges. Let me make it clear that you schooled with my mother, so all along I've understood you to be a very tough woman. But I wish for us to understand one thing. Last elections, you vied or you were deputizing Patrick Monel. Why change of heart this time? Why go for the women rep position?
First and foremost, I think, thank you for the question. First and foremost, there is no position to be vied as deputy governor. You are chosen by the governor to run-mate him. So that is the difference between women rep, because this is an elective position. It's no elective position for deputy governor. So that even if I did a lot of work, I will not get credit. Yeah? And at the time, I hadn't really thought about it. And I think you realize I went very late, like towards the end. So there is no question of change of heart. But I think the question should have been, why are you vying now for this? I am vying for the women rep position because I feel that there is too much work about women or the position of women rep that is vacant, that is empty, that's not been filled. There's too much that a woman rep can do in a county like Nyeri. You realize it is actually the county woman MP, it's the county MP, so in charge of all the constituencies. Yes.
So in your first days in office, what is the first key thing you would do as the women rep? Like now, this is after 2022, you're now in office. What is that first project you would want to implement?
Number one, I would implement a project in 100 days. Because first of all, you have to identify which projects, what is lacking, what is the priority. You have to prioritize things. I think the first few days in the office is first of all to know. First of all, study the office, what has been done. Of course, I've been to the field and I know. So it's to write down what are the tasks ahead, which are the priority areas. I'll tell you, for example, the work of a woman rep is actually, as you know, is an affirmative action state. So it's basically looking at the women and women-led businesses. So it's to identify where can we get funding for women-led small, medium, and even micro businesses, so that we uplift their standards of living. You look at the youth. Of course, when you're talking about women, you talk about the youth because they are also there, and literally the boy and the girl child are then covered in the youth. Let's look at the same thing. What is lacking? What can we do to the youth to have them empowered in terms of trade? Because if there is no trade, if you just give money, it doesn't help them, but show them the way. Where can they get funding? Are they able to repay? And cheap funding where they can afford. Same as women, and make sure they are in organized groups. Because you will not fund people, you will not get funding for unorganized groups. So that would be that. And then we look at the education. How are our youth educated? What can we add to their education? What is hidden in our mothers and fathers? What are the hardships that they are not able to educate their children? For example, I go for me, like you said, I went to school with your mother. In the neighborhood, there are so many children who I am called upon to assist because their mothers are not able to, their fathers are not able to. No, probably if you empowered then, you wouldn't be having so many of those therapies. And basically also utilize the girl fat to, even if it's not a lot of money, but you can regularly do that.
I have seen you in so many sports activities. Why are you so passionate about sports, and what is your vision on sports?
Thank you. I told you I went to school in Nyeri. If you asked your mother, Nyeri's high school, secondary school was known for sports. You'll be happy to know that I do provincial 800 meters and 400 meters in Pidgin.
Wow.
You'll be happy to know that I was in Nyeri's volleyball team and we would be trained by KDF. Primus. I used to play and I would start anything, and it was in my veins. I love sports. You'd also be happy to know that even when I went to A level, I started doing sports that I never did because the facilities in Nyeri couldn't allow. I was the best lawn tennis player in high school. I was the games captain in high school, in A level. In fact, I remember when I was going to get my certificate after so many years, and they checked and it was there. They said, yeah, come with 6 green t-shirts. You won't, because I was being the games captain, you were in charge of everything.
Yeah.
So I'm passionate about sports that way. And because sports also helps you develop your brain, you know, an idle mind is the devil's workshop, but if you're working. So to answer the question on my take, or my plan for
your
sports,
vision for sports.
Vision for sports is actually to make Nyeri County a sporting county. And you've seen me in soccer, going for games, supporting the youth. But you see, you realize when you do soccer, it's only mostly it's men. Although like you, I know you are the chair, but you are not playing actively. I know you are following the team. But I also look for sports that also cut across the range, both women, men, girls, and boys.
So now that brings me to the question. Right now, Nyeri soccer is very much on the rise, and it mostly includes men, although there are also upcoming female teams. What would you do when you become the women rep, come 2022, would you introduce more sports for women, or what would you do?
Exactly what I say, that you look for more sports that will cut across the population.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you introduce for women?
Of course there is, even that soccer, and I'm happy that you are saying they are trying, they are coming up. Then there is volleyball, and I said there was a champ. There is netball, there is lawn tennis, there is basketball.
Being that you were already doing that, you've already been playing, you've been to the field, have you made any initiative to bring in or to bring together women and start maybe a team, let's say that volleyball team?
Because it has to be an organized sort of thing. So that is one of the plans to do in terms of sports.
So whether or not you get into government come 2022, would you consider it as a vision to continue, or would you consider it as, well, this is my passion, I've realized you're very passionate about sports, and would you consider, whether or not I get into government, I'm going to do this for the youth?
Yeah, well, definitely. Like I'm doing it, and I'm not in government. So it's like, will I continue or stop? I'll continue, because that's something I did even before thinking about the women rep. You'll be surprised that this women rep, I really thought about it and prayed about it barely 6 months ago. I've been supporting sporting activities way before. Yeah?
Hi, you are a reputable daily farmer. In our area, you are that one person who is like, go to that person. What is your thought on daily farming, and how can we improve daily farming?
Dairy farming is huge, and thank you, yes. I'm very passionate about dairy farming. And it came from my father, because our cows, if you ask for mother, are the ones that you do win awards in agricultural shows in Nyeri. So, and I took after my father, and I think only me in my family. So that's where I got the passion from. So when you talk about how can we improve on daily farming, it's quite a wide topic to discuss because it starts from production. How do you keep a good cow? Is it a cow that you're going to be milking 2 liters in a day and you call yourself a dairy farmer? What are you going to do with that 2 liters? Maybe is it for subsistence? Is it for consumption at home? Is it because you need to look at dairy beyond fashion to business? You have to look at the economical value. There's no point of having 8 cows and producing 20 liters in a day. You're better keeping 1 cow, 2 cows, producing that's 20 liters, and you're able to feed your family, you're able to earn an income, you are able to have fertilizer because you have the dung and all that. So, and then maybe later on look at how do I add value into that. First of all, are we able to organize groups, like I said, organize groups and start up, start with bagging and pulling. How do we add the shelf, increase the shelf life of our milk, especially the afternoon milk, because it goes to waste in a lot of times. So those are the areas, and I'm telling you, it is right. It's a topic we can sit and talk about, but in a nutshell, is improve production. Production is from the cows. Breeding. How do you have the right to breed in the first place? Look at AI. We have the good AI technicians. Because sometimes people don't even, our people are aware that you need artificial insemination as opposed to keeping the bulls. So those are the things. And do people know how to feed? It's feeding and nutrition. It's health and nutrition. You know, you see cows probably. These days I do not see cattle tips. I used to see cattle tips. Do people still spray their cows against ticks and other insects? So it's wild.
You've been in Nyeri since the start of devolution. What are the key points that you've noted Nyeri is doing? Now this is as a Nyeri resident. Like, you know, Nyeri is really doing well in this and we need to improve on this. That is a question Madam Jerry Njori is going to answer immediately after this short break. Welcome back. Remember, this is a hot seat with me, Wangari Mothoi. And today we're very much privileged to be hosting Madam Jerry Njori, who is vying for a women rep seat come 2022. So, welcome back, Madam. Before we left, I asked, you've been in Nyeri since the start of devolution. What have you felt like a Nyeri resident that we've missed, or what do you feel like we've really done?
Well, I think starting with the youth, I am pretty sure that Nyeri has done really well in terms of youth coming together. If I compare 2013, 2017, or say when devolution started 2010 to probably 2013, and then 2013, 2017, and then 2017 to date, I have seen a lot of youth coming together, unlike before. Because I follow youth a lot on Facebook, and I see, Wangari knows someone in Kuroini. Wangari knows someone. Before, it never used to do that. I mean, to be that way. But then, knowing is not just the stop gate, because you need to know one another, because those are good networks. I think what lacks now is having organized youth groups that can do something that is of economic value to them, other than maybe what you are doing. And starting the businesses, and I'm very impressed with what the show you started, because like I said earlier on, is you start small and you can only grow. And doing projects that are also very innovative, like this is very innovative. So that's what the youth is probably need to focus on. What projects can we do? Are they sustainable? Are they innovative? Do they add value to our lives? I think that is one thing that needs to be done. And like I say, first of all, is let them have organized groups. Because I do not know I knew quite a number of youth groups, but maybe they're just youth groups that can be upgraded to some proper businesses. What we haven't done very well again, and I think it's in leadership. I don't think we have had very good leadership to hold our youth's heart. Because when they say that you are the future of tomorrow, yes, indeed it is, but you start from today. So we have not really held your hearts to start now. I think we have used our mouth more to say that you are future leaders. But for us, we should now be doing, like, you are future leaders, yes, but let us start from here. Let's go to the next step. So that the future could be tomorrow or the day after. Could be next month, next year. So I think that is what lands.
Brings me to ask, as a woman, a mother, and a leader, is there some youths you've maybe identified things, this person, there, this person, and you are purposely nurturing for them to get to the higher heights?
Yeah, you probably don't know. There is I don't know whether you've heard of a philanthropist called Tony Erumeru. I don't know whether you've heard of. I met Tony Erumeru when Obama came to Kenya, because I was lucky to be one of the selected guys by USAID to represent. And when I met the philanthropist, I kept following Tony Erumeru. And he has the Tony Erumeru Foundation to literally nurture the African youth. And what you need to do is do a project proposal. It comes once in a year. It opens like in January to open. You do a project proposal. If it wins, then you are trained. You go to Nigeria, because it's Nigeria. It trains you, and then gives you also some funding for your startup. And I have done 2 guys. And they are among top leaders in whatever they are doing. I think now even this year they've gone. Actually, one of them is from Kenya, and another one is from Madeira. Sometimes we don't blow the trumpet, but those are the issues that need to be done. How can you connect? And that's why it's begun by saying it's looking for funding, for cheap funding. And funding doesn't have to be money, even technical. It doesn't have to be financial, it can be anything. So I really do that, and I encourage. And when Tony Erumeru Foundation thing starts, or when it opens, I always post on Facebook. And surprisingly, I don't get a lot of response. There are people who inbox me, and they ask me, how can we do this? So those are some of those things that I have done. And it is connecting people to the world, not just being around here. And I'm happy that there's a guy, if you Google, he's called Stawi, and he does bananas, because I sat with him when Tony Erumeru came. So those are the issues that we need to. I don't have projects personally, but I can connect the youth to certain projects. And I don't know why they fear. I remember some of them are quick, so sometimes I even text and I tell people, write this, I write up needed. But I don't know why they shy away. I think it's building confidence that I need to really work on. Yes.
Being a woman and being in politics, what are the disadvantages and what are the advantages?
I do not think there is any disadvantage of being a woman in politics. In fact, I wouldn't even think there is any disadvantage. The advantages are enormous. Number one, if you're a woman and you are in politics and you are a leader, you have that soft spot for youth, because you tend to think they are your own. Yeah? So if you are able to support the youth and the women and the rest, the vulnerable groups, it cannot be satisfying. You know, sometimes you do things that are quite satisfying and not just because there is money involved. So there is all the advantages, because women leaders are focused. Yeah? Most of them don't digress. They are focused on in doing what is right. It's very rare to see women leaders. I know some of them are, and I think that spoils for us, that are quite corrupt. The percentage is lower than the opposite. Yeah. So it's all advantageous. Number one, you have youth and you feel like you have very many children with you. So yeah.
As we wind up, why do you feel you're the most suitable person to vote in come 2022 as the women rep directly to the cabinet?
Yes, I am the best suited because beginning with my profile, I have all what it takes, whether it's education, whether it's experience, whether it's passion, whether it's thirst for doing the right things, whether it's leadership, because from where I worked, I've worked with communities, and I've brought communities even to build dairies. So bringing communities together is not something very small, and that's why I want to bring communities to work and attain and attain the best goal, in their lives. So I believe I have everything that it takes to lead the Nyeri women, to sit on this Nyeri's county woman rep.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, that's all time we had, but I'm sure I will invite you next time you would come.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
I'm so honored.
And make sure that you invite the rest of the group.
Yes, this was just a start.
Thank you so much for honoring me for being the one to start off the show. Yeah. Excellent.
And we'll invite the rest. And also, we are planning to have you all on the same seat.
Fantastic. Looking forward.
Well, and as I always say, the decision is left for you. Well, all I can say is make a wise decision. That was all we had time for. This is a hot seat with me, Wangari Maathai. Bye bye.